Ashlee Simpson's debut album, Autobiography, is one of the best teen pop albums ever made, and I will be dying on this hill. Its flawless blend of pop and rock, along with its endearing and relatable songwriting, make it so much more than just a product of its time. So let's take a look back at what made this record so special. Being the younger sister of pop superstar Jessica Simpson, Ashlee Simpson was no stranger to the music industry. She had appeared in Jessica's video for I Wanna Love You Forever in 1999 and went on to be a backup dancer on her tour. It wasn't until 2002 that Ashlee would record her own music, starting with the song Christmas Past, Present, and Future for the compilation album School's Out Christmas. She followed this up with 2003's Just Let Me Cry, a song recorded for the Freaky Friday soundtrack. Even though it's not the best song, it did work as a sneak preview for the kind of music she would make. While her sister's music was mostly bubblegum pop, delivered with a sweet and lovable personality, Just Let Me Cry was comparatively snarkier and had more electronic and rock instrumentation. This was a little taste of Ashlee's artistry, but the whole meal would come next year. After signing with Geffen Records, Ashlee released her debut single, Pieces of Me. This song was absolutely massive. I remember hearing it on the radio multiple times a day for at least a whole year, and this was when radio actually meant something, so it was truly inescapable. The song is a pop rock ballad written about her then boyfriend Ryan Cabrera. God, I wish hair like this was still acceptable. Pieces of Me is a classic 2000s pop song, from that instantly recognizable opening guitar riff to its killer chorus that you just have to scream along with. It simultaneously feels extremely of its time, but also timeless. Its mid-2000s pop rock sound make it unmistakably from 2004, but its heartfelt lyrics and Ashlee's emotive performance have made it an enduring hit. The album itself dropped on July 20th, 2004, and was an immediate success, debuting at number 1 on the Billboard 200 with almost 400,000 copies sold in its first week. By January 2005, it had sold over 2.5 million copies. Ashlee had arrived, honey, and everyone knew it since she received very heavy promotion. The biggest example of this was her tie-in reality show, creatively titled The Ashlee Simpson Show, which aired on MTV in the lead-up to Autobiography's release. It's an interesting watch if you want to know more about the album's creation, or if you miss the days of reality TV having way less of a budget. The show actually aired right after Newlyweds, her sister's show with Nick Lachey. The animated Simpsons may have dominated TV in the 90s, but the real Simpsons took over in the 2000s. The show, along with her other media appearances, performances, and interviews, propelled the album's success and made Ashlee a household name. While she definitely had a huge advantage in her career because of her family, it's unfair to say Ashlee didn't have any talent, or that she was just handed music to sing. Ashlee wrote every song on Autobiography, along with John Shanks and Cara DiAguardi, and while some tracks have a few more co-writers, the album was undeniably personal to her. She used experiences in her life as inspiration for the songs, such as Unreachable being about her ex-boyfriend, Josh Henderson, or Shadow being about her feelings of insecurity when comparing herself to her sister. This personal touch sets Autobiography apart from other records of the time and makes it widely appealing since she's singing about feelings everyone's gone through. Better Off is the personal favorite of mine because of its relatable lyrics and optimistic message. Even though it's about a relationship, which I cannot relate to, I think the lyrics can be applied to anything that makes you happy when you're going through a rough time. And I love songs about seeing the bright side of things, even if it feels like you can't do anything right. Another one that always struck a chord with me is Harder Every Day, which is actually a bonus track on the international edition of the album. Again, even though the song is about a relationship, it's written in a way that anyone could relate to it. Who hasn't felt like they've been pretending to be someone they aren't? It hits a little too close to home for me. I can only listen to it when I'm in my feelings. Speaking of in my feelings, the song Undiscovered is the best ballad on the album, in my opinion. It's about a dying relationship that she's desperately trying to cling on to. It's a shame that this was a bonus track, because I think it's the most well-written song on the album. The bridge and the outro especially are so dramatic that I just have to love them. Another bonus track, called Endless Summer, is another one of my favorites. I love songs about reminiscing on the past, and this one's nostalgic lyrics about young love and holding on to memories as time passes by has always made it a standout for me. Along with Giving It All Away, It's sonically one of the prettiest songs on the album. It just sounds dreamy. On the rockier side of things, Surrender is hands down my favorite song on Autobiography. It is a banger and probably the catchiest song here. It's one of those upbeat songs that just puts me in a good mood for how energetic it is. I especially love the line, "All the pain in your heart, all the tears in your empty soul." Damn, Ashlee, you did not need to read me like this. Love Me For Me is another great track that sees her sassily kissing off her ex who wouldn't accept her for who she was. The heavy pop rock production and self-assured lyrics makes this song so enjoyable to sing along with, and it's also home to the funniest moment on the album. Right before the final chorus, she lets out a noise I can only describe as the yelp of someone who's just had a bowling ball fall on their foot. Check out the song to see what I mean. It comes kind of out of nowhere and never fails to make me laugh. Autobiography in general is filled with funny moments like this, as Ashlee has a very unique accent and way of singing. To me, she sounds like a valley girl pretending to be from Texas while singing along to Avril Lavigne. Some of my favorite little moments of Ashlee-isms include her screaming "Who's sorry now" on Sorry, the way she stretches out the word scream on La La, her little "yeah" right before the final chorus on Pieces of Me, and the way she says autobiography on the title track. I can't really describe these moments well, but if you've heard these songs before, you know what I'm talking about. Her enunciation, raspy vocals, and screechy delivery really give this album a lot of character. This is why I think Autobiography is such a meaningful album for me. I discovered it when I was in high school, and high school me was dramatic as hell, so having an album that matched that energy was very special. It sort of put into words what I was feeling at the time, and Ashlee's heartfelt and fierce performance sold it for me. I love an album where you can hear the artist's passion, even if they're not the best singer or performer. If they're giving it their all and the songs are good, that's all I need. Ashlee may have essentially been given her career because of her family connections, but I don't really care about that, because she gave us a genuinely great album that did mean a lot to her. The fact that it's relatable to the feelings most typical young people have also helps. The themes of not feeling good enough for other people, missing the past, and wanting to be accepted for who you are make this album truly captivating. It might be a little dated in parts, and a total product of its time, but it's a damn good product of its time. I highly recommend listening to this one if you're feeling nostalgic for the 2000s, especially if you grew up loving acts like Kelly Clarkson or Avril Lavigne. Am I biased because I discovered this album in the formative years of my life? Yes, but I still think Autobiography is sincerely a great album, worth listening to almost 2 decades later.